Hey everybody, and welcome back to First Time Watch Fridays here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and welcome back for a new season. I believe this is season 3, if I'm correct. So I'm really excited about this. There's going to be a few that I might do with other people, but most of the time it's just going to be me on this one. I'm also going to be doing 31 days of indie horror at the end of the year, so get ready for that. But and that's going to be for Indie Film Cafe. But for this, I'm doing kind of movies that like each week is going to be different. Each Friday is going to be different. So the first, well, not each one, but the first Friday is going to be a Blu-ray that I own. The second Friday will be a movie for streaming, and there's 5 different streamers I'm going to use. So there'll be 15 each, I think. So it'll end up being 30 episodes, hopefully. Hopefully. This is the first one, so let's get it going. I'm gonna be talking about the 2012 film, The Apparition. If you haven't seen this movie, uh, a lot of people talk trash about it. I kind of dug it. I didn't hate on it. I think it was a little too safe. It sort of was like they kind of went a PG-13 route, even though, yeah, it's PG-13. So they went PG-13, and I think that's what sort of stopped it from being a much, much better movie than what it was. I do love Sebastian Stan in this movie, and Ashley Greene, and of course Tom Felton, freaking from Harry Potter. All three of them were fantastic in the film. Um, though I will say Tom Felton's character to me kind of got a little boring. So he sort of like swoops in and saves the day kind of thing, and whatnot at times or whatever, and then he doesn't, and then there's a lot of craziness that happens with this movie. Um, and I feel like they could have gone a whole different direction. So there will be spoilers in this, so get ready because I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. So we're gonna talk about how it like all starts. The two guys are doing an experiment, basically, that they were trying to get to work with this the other side to bring the other side sort of forward, and what they sort of bring in was somebody from the other side that basically is trying to come over. Like it's uh and it's sort of like it's almost like it's halfway in. So it's causing problems, you know and I don't know how, I forgot how long, like if it was like a couple years or something. But I guess the guy and girl, like, let me see what it says on Wikipedia real quick, because they kind of explain the story a little bit better than I'm going to, and then I'll talk about the certain stuff while I'm doing this. So, The Apparition, 2012 film. Let's look at the story here. Uh, I might do this for a lot of these films because, first of all, I hadn't seen, like, I saw this movie, but it's been a little bit since I watched it. On May 21st, 1970. This is the thing that threw me off. So we're gonna we're gonna talk. So 6 people conduct the Charles experiment, a parapsychological experiment in which they stare at a drawing of a deceased man, Charles Reamer, hoping to summon spirit. Years later, 4 college students, Patrick, Tom Felton, Lydia, played by Juliana Guile, Ben, played by Sebastian Stan, and Greg, Luke Pascalano, Pascalino, I'm sorry, attempt to recreate the Charles experiment on a larger scale by using modern technology. During the experiment, something attacks the students and pulls Lydia into the wall. Sometime later, Ben and his girlfriend Kelly, Ashley Greene, are living together. One evening, they discover strange burn marks on their counters. Kelly finds both doors wide open, even though they had locked them. They decide to change the locks and install surveillance cameras. Later, Kelly finds a large amount of mold and spores on the laundry room, while Ben finds even more in a crawl space. It gets 36 urgent emails from Patrick that first inform him of a new attempt at the Charles experiment, followed by a warning that containment failed, and finally, you are in danger. After witnessing an apparition, the couple go to a hotel, but they are attacked there as well. They forgot to mention one thing: a dog dies, which was really sad. And if you know me at all, when we're doing these things, you should know by now. I really don't like it when dogs die in movies. Um, but that's like the point, generally in these horror films, is to shock you or make you sort of upset about it. The dog, I guess, like went over to their house, and then basically somehow or another, the ghost kind of the apparition ends up killing the dog, and so that was a little sad. Um, let's see. They go to the hotel, but they're attacked there as well. And the attack was pretty freaking cool. That scene was like my favorite, where like the attack is like, um, so I'll use this as an example. I used to have what they're called. They're like it's not dreaming, it's being awake, and sleep paralysis. And one day I had the sleep paralysis, and I had my covers over me, and I could feel something over my covers, like running over me. Like it was like jumping right on top of me and running over my covers. And it was the freakiest thing that's ever happened. And when I and because like what happened was I had sleep paralysis, so I couldn't get up or anything. But I saw this thing in my hallway, and it like ran at me. So I threw the covers over me, and I could feel the thing just right over me, and it scared the shit out of me. Um, and I've talked about this later. I think I saw a shadow man or whatever, this guy with this hat that is part of this stuff. It happens when you sort of hallucinate and you're sort of in this like sort of weird state of sleep paralysis, you know, and whatnot, and you can't move necessarily, but for some reason I could like put the covers over me. So I don't know. Anyway, that kind of shit creeped me out. And it reminded me of when she was getting stuck inside the covers, like the covers, something was uh trying to kill her with the covers. And that was the coolest scene in the whole movie, in my opinion. So I really, really enjoyed that. But they kind of gloss over that. Patrick explains that the initial experiment. Oh, wait, but they're attacked there as well. As they flee, they receive a call from Patrick and meet him. Patrick explains that the initial experiment enabled a malevolent entity to enter their world, but that he has built a room surrounded by a negative current that he believes protects him from it. They run to return to Kelly and Ben's house to try a new experiment to contain the entity. During the experiment, the house begins to shake and break apart, then abruptly stops. While Kelly and Ben are outside, Patrick's pulled into the darkness and vanishes. Unable to find Patrick, they flee to the safety chamber in his house. Inside the house, they hear Patrick's personal log being played back. Um, including information about the members of the original experiment. Of the original six, two died, one committed suicide, and the other disappeared. After entering the safety chamber, Ben disappears. Kelly exits the chamber and finds Ben's contorted corpse. Patrick's narration explains that the entity gets stronger at each person, and it claims, with each person it claims, and that it will wear its victims down until they are too weak to resist. With no escape, Kelly wanders around and enters an empty Costco. She walks into the camping section, enters a tent, and waits to be killed by the entity, having fully given up resisting. A number of hands appear from behind the entity, slowly grabbing a hold of her, and the movie cuts to black. So I think that's what a lot of people didn't like, was like at the end of it, it just sort of cuts to black, doesn't really explain what happens or anything like that. And I kind of like that. Like it kind of gives you this like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Obviously, also could have set up for like a sequel. I would like sort of a story that's similar to this, but doesn't go the exact same route. Because I would like a movie where the entities sort of come out and start taking over the world, you know, kind of one house at a time, one person at a time, or whatever. And we can't stop them, like they're whatever from their other world coming into ours. We have no power against it. They're these evil entities that just want to take over a new, place. It'd be the same as if we as humans found we could explore new areas. We would go to, some other plane of existence and whatnot. So, anywho, I really like that. I mean, I had a fun time with it. It's not the greatest movie of all time. In fact, it's pretty kind of subpar compared to a lot of other ones, but it's it's fun enough that I think, especially for the PG-13 rating, had it been R, I think they could have gone a little deeper and been a little scarier. And I think I definitely think they played it safer. And a lot of that might have to do with just the fact that horror these days, they want, kids watch horror, and so Blumhouse and who put this out, Dark Sky, Warner Brothers, they want they want to put out for kids, and I remember going to see Truth or Dare, the Blumhouse movie, and being like the only adult there, and I felt really weird. Didn't like it. Didn't like that feeling because I was like, oh my God. And then my brother and I once went to see Chucky, like the new Child's Play, the new one, the remake, and we were all alone at first, and we're super like, oh shit, like, is this movie gonna suck? Then a busload of kids, like 30 kids, came in. Kids, I'm talking like 8 to 10-year-old kids, came in with their supervisors, like their whoever's watching them, and they watched Child's Play, which was a rated R movie. I mean, I know you have to have a parental guidance or adult or whatever, adult supervision, but like that was a little weird that all these kids were allowed to go watch Child's Play. But they became the most fun of the movie because they reacted like they would get scared and they'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell?" Which I wouldn't, because nothing really terrifies me anymore. So it's fun to see it through the eyes of a child. And so it does bring me back to the idea that a lot of these movies, they want the children to be scared, because that me when I was a kid, I loved horror films. I still do, but it's weirder now. They don't have the same effect on me. I like them now for the stories and for the characters and for the direction. I don't, I'm not there to be scared anymore. If a movie scares me, like the last movie that scared me was The Babadook. Not scares me like it, made me not be able to sleep at night, but it scared me like kind of lingered afterwards. And there's not many movies like that. And so I'm super excited to see movies. If a movie does kind of freak me out like that, good for it, because not many do. So, anywho, that's it. That's all I had to say for this movie. Join us next Friday for another First Time Watch Friday. I can't say what it's going to be yet because I haven't recorded it yet. But enjoy. I can't wait to continue doing this every Friday for the next 30 Fridays. This is going to be a crazy, crazy year, and these days go by quickly. So it'll be the end of this season before we even know it. So thank you all for joining me, and if you guys like the apparition or didn't like the apparition, please let me know. I think Ashley Green and Sebastian Stan and Tom Felton did the best job that they could with this movie. I really had a fun time. Um, I every other character and stuff they were just characters kind of disappeared or whatever. But I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.